apologizing for exactly the 370th day since we were here last to render account of the activities of the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget to mark the 6th anniversary of the Fashola administration. We pledged then that our team will do our best as a think tank of the government to further grow the economy of the state. I am elated to say that the economy of our state has continued to grow at over 10% per annum. It is also noteworthy to say that we have enjoyed your objective coverage of our various activities and programs, which have further endeared the government to the people. I commend you for this patriotic role and urge you to continue in that direction. Our ministry's vision is to be the primary agency of government that facilitates efficient and effective mobilization, planning, allocation, and utilization of resources for socio-economic transformation of Lagos State. We are determined to achieve this by articulating dynamic socio-economic policies while ensuring prudent and equitable resource management in the state. Our key ministerial responsibilities remain the principal economic think tank of the state, coordination of economic policies and programs, preparation and implementation of the state's long and medium-term development plans as well as the annual budget, monitoring and evaluation of state governments, projects and programs, coordination of development partnerships, production and dissemination of official state statistical data. Our ministerial goals include the promotion of private sector-led growth in the state, generation and utilization of relevant and reliable data for planning, deepening and broadening of state revenue base and development partnership sources, effective expenditure control and project monitoring, promotion of enhanced partnership for development. Our core values are adherence to due process, dynamism, commitment, fairness, professionalism, team spirit, hard work, loyalty, prudence, and integrity. Let me now proceed and examine our principal activities and achievements over the last 1 year by the different key departments around which we are organized, beginning with economic planning. The ministry, as the principal socio-economic research arm of the Lagos State government, is saddled with the responsibility of developing clear planning parameters to achieve the goals of government as espoused in the various high-level policy documents of the state. We also serve as a custodian of all planning matters in the state with the following functions: management of the Economic Intelligence Unit, coordination of medium-term expenditure framework (MTEF), and medium-term sectoral strategy (MTSS) process in the state, development and monitoring of long-term development plan, the 2012 to 2025 Lagos State Development Plan, and such other planning documents in the state. Implementation of Millennium Development Goals, MDGs, conditional grant scheme in collaboration with the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on MDG. Collaboration / implementation of development partners programs for the state. Liaison with National Planning Commission and other related agencies. Oversighting planning units in MDAs. Serving as secretariat to the Lagos Economic Summit Group. Through our various units, which include the Economic Intelligence Unit, Policy Planning Unit, Strategic Planning Unit, and the Project Support billion. We achieved the underlisted in the last 1 year. Obtained the Executive Council approval for the Lagos State Development Plan 2012 to 2025. Concluded the preparation of the implementation plan, which provides strategic details on the way the LSDP is phased, priorities adopted, and linkages. It also sets out high-level outcomes and key performance indicators. Held capacity building workshops for heads of planning units in all MDAs statewide. Prepared the policy brief on meeting housing needs in Lagos. Completed the second edition of the Lagos Policy Review, which is ready for publication. Concluded the preparation of the medium-term budget framework / fiscal strategy for the period 2015 to 2017. Prepared a working paper on the socio-economic costs of traffic congestion in Lagos. Prepared a position paper on the implication of shale oil development for Nigeria / Lagos. The state budget. First, the 2010 budget performance. Gentlemen of the press, one of the most important aspects of our job is budget preparation. It is the instrument used to tailor government expenditure to grow the economy and develop the state in line with the state's policy thrust. We believe we have done this effectively and the results are evident. Let me remind you that the year 2013 budget of 499.605 billion naira originally was signed into law by His Excellency Governor Babajide Raji Fashola, SAN, on January 2, 2013, and was revised twice in the course of implementation. Firstly, it was slightly reordered in July 2013 to accommodate the additional funding for the Lagos Home Ownership Mortgage Scheme, Lagos Homes Project, without any change in the budget size. The second review was through a supplementary exercise which increased the budget size from 499.605 billion naira to 507.105 billion naira, a difference of 7.605 billion naira in September 2013, essentially to provide for the buyout of the concessionaire's interest in the Etiosa-Lekki Expressway. The year 2013 budget recorded an overall performance, actual performance of 85% by the end of that year. We also undertook the following activities in the period since our 6th anniversary ministerial briefing. Second quarter / half-year budget performance appraisal on the 11th of July 2013. The second quarter performed at 83% of the prorated budget for the quarter. The Budget Consultative Forum for taking inputs of citizens into the year 2014 budget was held on 23rd July 2013. EXCO Legislative Party on the 2014 draft budget held on 23rd of October 2013. Presentation of third quarter budget appraisal was on the 11th of October 2013, and it showed the third quarter budget performance 70%. Presentation of the 2014 draft budget of 489.690 billion naira to the Lagos State House of Assembly by His Excellency the Governor on 30th October 2013. Fourth quarter, the 2013 full year budget appraisal was presented on the 17th of January 2014. The fourth quarter budget performance stood at 125%, while the full year performance was 85% for the year 2013. The year 2014 budget analysis / press briefing was held on 28 January 2014. Also published and distributed the Citizens Guide on the 2014 budget on 11th of February 2014. The year 2014 budget of 489.690 billion naira consisted of 255.025 billion naira capital expenditure and 234.665 billion naira recurring expenditure. It was prepared in line with the policy direction of the state to meet the yearnings and aspirations of the good people of Lagos State. The zero deficit budget is focused on completion of ongoing projects, settlement of outstanding debts, and priority attention to the maintenance of public assets. The capital to recurrent ratio is 52:48 for 2014 as against 58:42 in 2013. The budget was passed into law and assented by His Excellency Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola SAN on 13th January 2014. The sectoral allocations of the budget for 2014 are as follows. General Public Service, 24.33%, which is 119.1 billion naira. Public Order and Safety, 17.4 billion naira, 3.55%. Economic Affairs, 154.8 billion naira, 31.61%. Environmental Protection, 39.4 billion naira, 8.05%. Housing and Community Amenities, 50.2 billion naira, or 10.3%. Health, 34.6 billion naira, or 7.07%. Recreation, Culture and Religion, 3.4 billion naira, or 0.69%. Education, 68.4 billion naira, or 13.97%. Social Protection, 2.4 billion naira, or 0.48%. The sectoral highlights of the 2014 budget are contained in our Citizens Guide publication, copies of which will again be distributed to you all today. The first quarter 2014 budget performance was presented on Wednesday, 30th of April 2014, showing a 67% performance, an improvement on the 61% performance recorded over the same period in year 2013. State statistical data. The government of Lagos State relies very much on statistics in taking informed decisions regarding resource mobilization and allocation, as well as measurement of the impact of its policies, programs, and projects. The Lagos Bureau of Statistics, LBS, is responsible for generating high-quality, relevant, and reliable data for our planning purposes. LBS conducted the year 2013 edition of the Lagos Household Survey, HHS. The report of the survey is available on the Lagos State website. The survey was designed to gather information on a range of topics from people living in Lagos State at household level, with a view to determining the impact of some of the state government projects and programs on Lagosians, as well as strengthening planning mechanism in the state. It showed that the state has continued to make progress generally in improving the people's quality of life. In conducting the survey, 10,000 households were selected using probability proportional to size of the 57 local governments by local council development areas population in Lagos State. We compiled, published, and circulated to all MDAs copies of the 2013 edition of the Digest of Statistics as well as the statistical hotline publications. These are also available on the state's website. We also produced and circulated the 2013 editions of the Motor Vehicle Statistics and the Abstract of Local Government Statistics publications, the monthly price statistics bulletin on essential commodities collected from selected markets in metropolitan Lagos was regularly published. Monitoring and evaluation. It is not enough to budget and allocate resources for programs and project implementation. There is need to monitor, say, and ensure that they are properly executed for the public to have value for the expended funds. Thus, we monitor and evaluate government's projects, programs, and policies. Payment for projects like procurements value 500,000 naira and above require certification by the Monitoring and Evaluation Department, MED, of this ministry. We also produce performance management and assessment reports on government programs annually. The ministry issued prepayment certificates in the sum of 55,859,363,995 naira 33 kobo, relating to 1,097 projects in the past 1 year. In the same vein, 304 direct labor like procurement repayment certificates totaling 4,915,255,425 naira 16 kobo only were confirmed for various MDAs. During the period under review, During the period under review, 77 contracts prepayment certificates totaling 2,383,589,669 naira 86 kobo only were returned to various MDAs as a result of some observed anomalies on the certificates or unsatisfactory job execution. The MED completed the 2012 Annual Performance Management Report and is in the process of concluding the 2013 report. The ministry kickstarted a series of World Bank funded training programs and workshops for the development of a result-based management system in 9 pilot MDAs in the state civil service. MED officials undertook a World Bank study tour to Brazil to learn innovative monitoring and evaluation institutional arrangements and approaches. The program is aimed at undertaking a comprehensive review of existing monitoring and evaluation systems in 9 pilot MDAs, namely Office of Environmental Services, Office of Drainage Services, Ministry of Housing, Ministry of Establishment, Training and Pension, Ministry of Tourism and Intergovernmental Relations, Office of Youth and Social Development, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Justice, and Ministry of Education. To achieve this, a capacity building workshop on design and management of monitoring and evaluation in projects and programs and reporting tools was conducted for the 9 pilot MDAs. Coordination of Development Partnership. The Development Partnership Department, DPD, of this ministry is responsible for the facilitation and coordination of development partnership programs and activities in the state. It liaises with both local and international development and donor agencies on behalf of the state in order to facilitate sustainable developmental partnership relationships. Let me use this opportunity to again express gratitude to our development partners for the various projects and programs they have assisted the state with during the past year, as highlighted here. The the Lagos State UK Department for International Development DFID partnership. The UK DFID intervened in the state through its various programs, which include State Partnership for Accountability, Responsiveness and Capability, SPARC, Education Sector Support Program in Nigeria, SP, State Accountability and Voice Initiative, SAVI, Partnership for Transformation of Health System, Part 2, Growth and Employment in States, GEMS 3, Land, which focuses on land and tax reform. Growth and Employment in States 4, GEMS 4, which focuses on wholesale and retail market development. The 7th program is the Enhancing Nigerian Advocacy for Better Business Environment, ENABLE. Then the Justice for All, J4A, Enhancing Nigeria Response to HIV/AIDS, ENR, Voices for Change, V4C, and DEEPEN, that's DEEPEN, which stands for Developing Effective Private Education in Nigeria. We focus on improving learning outcomes in private schools, especially for children from low-income households. So you can see from all of these acronyms that DFID is particularly adept at coming up with fanciful acronyms for its programs. With the collaborative efforts of the SPARC, Lagos State played host to the 3rd edition of the Governance Share Fair under the auspices of the Nigerian Governors Forum. The forum drew high-level participation from the 6 southwestern states, namely Ekiti, Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, Oyo, and Osun State. The event presented a platform for interaction between the states to exchange knowledge of good practices and innovation in governance and service delivery as it exists in the 6 states. In order to record an improved ranking for the country in the Index of Ease of Doing Business in Nigeria, the Lagos State as the proxy for the nation. With Lagos State as proxy for the nation, the Growth and Empowerment in States, GEMS 3, in conjunction with the World Bank and the International Finance Corporation, IFC, continue to hold sessions and workshops with relevant MDAs. A right of reply session was also organized with the collaboration of African Heritage Institute, AHI, in the period under review. The UK DFID also maintained its sponsorship of the publication of summit resolutions and report for the 7th Lagos Economic Summit, Equity 2014. The Lagos United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF partnership. UNICEF is a long-standing partner with the state working to implement programs and policies for the realization of children's rights. It is currently running a new country program cycle, the 2014 to 2017, which has 2 broad areas of cooperation with Lagos State. These are transforming social service delivery and strengthening governance accountability, including reduction of the risk of crisis. UNICEF supported people-oriented activities and programs of the Lagos State government in a number of ways. Some of the activities implemented by relevant MDAs, which include Ministries of Health, Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Rural Development, Economic Planning and Budget, State Universal Basic Education Board, and Agency for Mass Education, logistics support for National Immunization Plus, support for implementation of Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Week, training workshop for family court, judiciary and non-judicial officers, training of volunteers, documentation of relevant, of referral, identified children, and so on. Then the Lagos State is one of the focal states for UNDP programs. In order to strengthen the focal states coordinating entities, UNDP held another edition of the workshop on improving one-stop shop for aid coordination. The essence of this workshop was essentially to strengthen the approach of aid coordination in states to ensure harmonization, accountability, and avoid duplication of activities. The Lagos State United Nations Population Fund UNFPA partnership. The UNFPA now has as its areas of intervention reproductive health and rights, population and development, gender equality. The Japanese International Cooperation Agency JICA partnership. In order to deepen the relationship between JICA and the state, the development partner has signified our intention to expand area of intervention, which are principally health. Other sectors of interest are agriculture, urban transportation, and energy. JICA also proposes to offer international training to officers of the state in the area of environmental management. The Agence Française de Développement, AFD partnership. AFD is one of the relatively new entrants into the state as a development partner. It has demonstrated strong commitment to partner with the state in the area of urban water sector improvement, road expansion, slum upgrading, and solid waste management. It part-funded the ongoing expansion of the Mile 12 to Ikorodu Road expansion through a concessionary loan. Millennium Development Goals Report. The MDGs are acknowledged as global development goals aimed at improving quality of life in developing countries. The state continues to monitor its progress towards attainment of the MDGs using the set global indicators and targets as benchmarks. 3 editions of the MDG report have been produced to date: 2006, 2009, 2011. The 2013 report is being finalized by this ministry. It is pertinent to say that the earlier editions were produced by consultants, but in recognition of sufficient capacity domiciled in our LBS and DPD, they have been mandated to produce the report. We will shortly release a richer and more evidence-based report. In line with Goal 8 of the MDGs, which enjoins all governments to develop a global partnership for development, our ministry has continued to reach out to other development partners for the overall development and progress of the state. The Lagos Economic Summit, in furtherance of the search for a better economic base for Lagos State, named Nigeria, the 7th Lagos Economic Summit in 2014 was held from 8th to the 10th of April 2014 at the Eco Hotels and Suites, Victoria Island. The theme of this year's summit was Powering the Lagos Economy, Real Opportunities, Endless Possibilities. To say that the absence of adequate power is a major hindrance to economic growth is to say the obvious. Thus, we gathered global thought leaders, including 2 former presidents, Mr. Mikhail Saakashvili of Georgia and Mr. Pedro Pires of Cape Verde, together to brainstorm on the way forward following the deregulation of the power sector. The summit dwelt on the challenges and opportunities inherent in power generation, transmission and distribution in Lagos, which is the foremost power market in West Africa. Since 2008, Engbeti has moved from being largely diagnostic in nature to being implementation oriented. The 6 previous summits from 2000 to 2012 yielded a total of 139 resolutions and recommendations. All these resolutions and recommendations have been implemented except 13, some of which have either been partially implemented or are still being implemented. The implementation status report is available on the Lagos Economic Summit website, as well as the various presentations at the last summit. The 7th Economic Summit has 21 resolutions and recommendations, including advocating and encouraging ongoing power grid upgrade and aggressive upgrade of distribution facilities, investing in distribution equipment and pursuit of waste-to-power and gas-to-power projects as practical ways by which we can harness electricity for more rapid development of the state. Conclusion. Gentlemen of the press, this is a brief of the journey in the last 1 year of this ministry. We will continue to play our role to efficiently pursue the state's vision of transforming Lagos into Africa's model megacity, global economic and financial hub that is safe, secure, functional, and productive. This will be done through effective mobilization, planning, allocation, and utilization of resources for the socio-economic transformation of Lagos State. Let me again acknowledge your support in the past and say that we are counting on you to present this scorecard to the members of the public, who are our ultimate employers. As is the practice, we take your constructive criticisms as signs of support and collaboration in the years ahead. We thank you for your attention and wish you God's continued blessings.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think the Honorable Commissioner is
for you to give more clarification, sir, on page 7 of the presentation where you talk about 77 contract repayment certificates, 3-year job distribution. I would like if you can tell us some specific terms what the anomalies were, and then what eventually happened to those contracts. My name is Joshua Basta. I work with Ministerial. Thank you.
Lagos State. You told us that sorry. Okay, on page 5 of the speech, you talked about the zero deficit budget is focused on the completion of ongoing projects. And by my own layman understanding of a zero budget means that maybe Lagos State has enough money, as in you have a surplus budget, so to say, to finance all the ongoing projects of the state. But the question is, how come that the state government is also seeking for external loan, as in, a World Bank loan, so to say, to finance $200 million, so to say, to finance some of these ongoing projects? And in the sector-by-sector allocation of the 2014 budget, I need clarification. There is a place where we have a public order and safety, 17 billion naira, amount to 3.5%, and another area is social protection. So what is the difference between public order and safety and social protection in the same 2014 budget? And lastly, sir, can you tell us to what extent are we also partners in these years, in the year under review, your development? You made mention of some agencies, foreign agencies. To what extent have they also supported you in this year under review, sir?
The 77 prepayment certificates that were returned, I think we reported to find out what were the specific anomalies and what eventually happened to those contracts. It's, it's a range of anomalies. Probably ranging from maybe calculation errors on the certificates, in addition to whatever not correct. With any calculation error, the certificate will be returned. Okay. Improperly completed certificates will be returned. For instance, any information was missing on it. But then, as you said, there were also cases of unsatisfactory job, execution. Okay. A job is considered to be unsatisfactorily executed if execution does not conform to the specifications in the contract. And what will happen then is we will decline certification, in which case the contractor will be required to remediate the deficiency. And when that is subsequently done, we can go back and certify for payment. If the contractor proves incapable of remediating the anomaly, the deficiency, then ultimately it will result in termination of the contract, and the state will resort to other remedies available to it under the contract, including calling on any bonds or guarantees for advance payment. In some cases, even prosecution in extreme cases. So I couldn't give you an itemized listing here now. Each of these 77. That's information that is available at the ministry. Okay. So I will first of all let me say that in Lagos State we don't have such a portfolio as coordinating. Commissioner for the economy. But you then asked a number of questions, the first of which is, if this is a zero deficit budget, how come the state is still seeking a World Bank loan? Let me say that in management of finances, whether of a government or a corporation, sometimes you can undertake financing activities that may entail, taking new loans, okay, and repaying existing loans without increasing your loan stock, where there's no net increase of your loan stock. If, for instance, and even at the level of individuals, in more developed economies, when individuals take a home mortgage loan, say at 10%, if they find another bank that is ready to give them the loan at 7%, they will take the loan at 7% and pay off the one at 10%. But they won't have acquired another house. It will be the same house. They will not be owing more. They will simply have taken. So the World Bank facilities, which the IDA facilities are on much of preferential terms than the facilities we have taken from the domestic market. And so when we find opportunities to refinance, we will do so. Remember that the World Bank loans were designed, specifically the DPO, Development Policy Operation loans, were designed to support our major infrastructure development projects. However, because of the delay, protracted delay between the Federal Executive Council and the National Assembly in approval for it, we resorted to in some cases to bridge financing, work on these projects by, borrowing from local banks. And so when we now have the opportunity to draw on, these facilities, which, in the case of the DPO, it's a 25-year loan at 1.5% per annum interest rate with a 5-year moratorium, you will understand why we will be keen to draw on such a facility. The difference between public order and safety and social protection. Public order and safety basically is a classification that captures all of the government functions that are aimed to promoting and ensuring safety, good orderliness in society. So it includes the judiciary, it includes Ministry of Justice expenditures, it includes the money that we spend on supporting the security agencies, the Rapid Response Squad, all of that, OP-MESA, all of that is classified as public order and safety, including expenditure on emergency management or emergency services. All of that is public order and safety. Social protection, on the other hand, relates to our expenditures designed to support the most vulnerable, in society. So, the activities of agencies like the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation are captured under the work of the Office of Youth and Social Development, again targeted at vulnerable elements in society, are also classified as social protection. You want to know the value of support from development partners in this year, 2014. Our budget for 2014 has made provision for 3 billion naira as projected grants that we will receive from our development partners during the year. Of course, we may achieve this, or we may not fully achieve it, or we hope we even do better than the 3 billion. But that's the projection that we have captured in the 2014 budget for support from our development partners. I also have here 2 questions that I understand have been tweeted. The first one is from Hame Olani Iganyu. He says, why did Lagos State government marginalize the Ikorodu division in terms of budget implementation and planning? Because almost all our roads in the Ikorodu division are dilapidated. For example, Igwe Road, Bola Tinubu Road, Alaji Alagogo Street need to be dualized. The Vita Road, all roads in Agbede, Olayemi Estate Road, just to mention a few. We have become accustomed to, at every forum, people from Ikorodu complaining of marginalization. But if you feel marginalized, the budget allocation, you can blame the director of budget, who is a daughter of Ikorodu. But seriously speaking, okay, I think this government has made it clear that it lacks the resources to be able to fix all of the roads in the state in one financial period, one fiscal period, not even in the term of any one government. There are about 10,000 roads in the whole of this state. as we speak, less than 50% of them have been paid. And so that's why when some of you think the state is so rich, it doesn't need to generate additional revenue. The magnitude of challenges that the state faces is enormous. When you add to this the fact that the cost of road construction in the state is higher than what it is in most other parts of the country because of our terrain. Most of the state is below sea level, below sea level. Therefore, road construction is more challenging in terms of building roads that can last. So we will continue to address the road in every single budget of the state. In the last 8 years, road construction has been the largest line of expenditure, and it is likely to remain so for a while. To all of this. But again, speaking about Ikorodu, while it is the thing to name the roads that are the same, I'm sure that the gentleman who tweeted this is not unaware of Igwese Road, is not unaware of Bafemi Awolowo Road, is not unaware of the Mile 12 Ikorodu road expansion, and with the BRT component of it, as well as a number of other road projects. Is not unaware of the Bakodo major jetty there, and all of the dredging that is being done to improve ferry access to Ikorodu. The second tweet came from Kule Adeni. Is there any department in your ministry that monitors and evaluates awarded contracts and projects? Because there are many abandoned projects in the state now. But anybody who is managing the tweeting should please respond to Kule and ask him to name specific abandoned projects. As far as we know, there are no abandoned projects in the state. There's a difference between ongoing and abandoned projects. Some projects may have taken longer than they were envisaged, sometimes for challenges that are not obvious. For instance, in some cases, when expanding a road, everybody on the street, on the road might agree for their fence to be broken or whatever. It just takes one person who refuses and goes to court. Work will have to halt until that court action is discharged, because we're a law-abiding government. Of course, during that process, the conclusion will be this project has been abandoned because you don't see what's going on. Again, it's important to observe that construction methods have since advanced from the days where, maybe concrete drains or whatever, or culverts, they had to knock, together wooden, whatever, things in place on site and begin to pour concrete to. Now there's a lot of work that is done off-site. A lot of the work is precast, and they just bring them to the site. So again, the contractor may be used to doing off-site precast work. And because you don't see anything happening on the site, you think that the project has been abandoned. But if this gentleman will tell us specific projects, we will then go and check, see what's happening.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think we can do better than that. The Honorable Commissioner Honorable Commissioner, the Special Advisor, Permanent Secretary, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.